The enchantment of childhood and the wonders of nature shelter a young boy living in the Adirondacks. A boy who is not quite ready to face some of the harsh realities of adulthood, nor should he be. The bliss of childhood blooms in the short film Treehouse, made by some creative people who grew up in the environment their film celebrates. One of the co-directors is a video producer and editor. Claire Kinnen joins us now from New York City to talk about her first narrative short film. Hello, Claire.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
Oh, it's our pleasure. I'm aware that you're good friends with the writer of this film, Leslie Haller, and I understand you both have a connection to the farm that's featured in it.
Can you come back inside?
How long have you two known each other?
So Leslie and I have known each other since we were both about 10 and 11 years old. We met when her family moved to the North Country, and the farm that we filmed on is actually her parents' dairy farm.
And the film is called Treehouse. What is the origin of the story this film is telling?
So Leslie actually found a rundown hunting stand in the location that the treehouse in the film is in when she was walking on her family's property and farm. And that partly inspired the film, but it's also inspired by both of our childhoods because we wanted to capture how rural childhood can be both very beautiful and very isolating as well.
The film does capture that very well, and the main character is a 10-year-old boy. Actually, the young actor seems pretty comfortable on that farm.
Yeah, so Jacob Haller played the boy in this film, and he's actually Leslie's little brother. And the teenage character is also one of Leslie's brothers, Richard Haller. And so they were both very comfortable because that is the farm that they are both growing up on.
So it's a real part of their lives.
So, Mom, Tyler wants me to come over.
When?
Like now, after dinner. So, could you drive me?
Weren't you just there last weekend?
Mom, it's not that far. Come on.
Not tonight.
When it comes to the characters in the film, how would you describe the boy's family life with his older brother and parents?
I think that the family is under some intense pressure. Farming is really, really hard and challenging work. And we wanted to include those scenes with the family to really show the reality and some of the economic tensions, but also the boy's ability to escape this tension and still enjoy the beauty around him and just enjoy his childhood.
Yeah, we can sense the intensity in those conversations, the few ones we hear in the film. We're not really seeing any joy in the family unit. How happy would you say the family is in this film?
I think that different viewers are going to have different conclusions about the family's happiness based on maybe their own experience. So if you had a challenging situation growing up, maybe you'll project onto that, or if it was challenging and ultimately quite happy, you could project that.
What's this stuff? Did you get it?
What? Oh, no, sorry. It wasn't on sale.
What you said.
I said if it was on sale.
We wanted to show that while hardships are inevitable, nature and imagination can be constant sources of joy for people.
Oh, those are beautiful thoughts. Now, when we do hear the parents arguing at one point, I didn't necessarily get the impression that it's a relationship ending kind of fight.
I'm not going to have enough replacement. I'm going to have to give it.
Yeah, again, I think you can imagine whatever you want for the family, but the parents rely on each other. And I think that that's something that is clear, is that they were both very invested in the farm and they're invested in what's happening. And sometimes when we're very invested, we take things out on each other. But I think in my own world or my own imagination, they don't end up unhappy.
Oh, that's good to know. And it all takes place in this beautiful Adirondack environment. What did that environment add to your film?
Honestly, that was one of my main motivators in wanting to do this project, was wanting to show the North Country in all of its beauty. There's so much rugged landscape up north, but there's also a lot of delicate beauty with the flowers and the crocuses in springtime and the blossoms and the colors, the smells. If you're from the North Country, maybe you forget how beautiful it is. If you're not from there, maybe you don't know. It was really lovely to be able to showcase that.
Yeah, and at one point in the film, I actually noticed the flowers in bloom, and I hadn't really seen them before.
Yeah, we completely lucked out as far as timing went. When we got up to the North Country, we had a week to film, and it was cold, it was pretty frozen, and Leslie and I had so much anxiety about getting that sort of finale scene, which is springtime, and that actually happened overnight. Towards the end of the week, the crocuses and the buds and the bulbs started to blossom and come up, and we were able to capture it, and we felt just incredibly lucky and relieved. But that is the reality of springtime up north. I mean, it is very overnight.
Almost sounds magical, kind of like the theme in your film. And what was it like for you to go from New York City, where you and Leslie Haller both live, and return to this Haller family farm to shoot the film?
It was so much fun. Honestly, I hadn't had a chance to run around the farm and put rain boots on and play in the mud and go in the barn and go on the rope swing and climb up the tree house. None of that stuff I'd done in years. And it was the perfect excuse to pretend I was a kid again. Leslie and I had always put on shows in the barn growing up or played a lot of make-believe. So in some ways it felt like we got to go back in time for a week.
That's fantastic. So you went from putting on shows in the barn to actually producing this short film. Congratulations for the success of your film. And do you have any plans for similar projects in the future?
Thank you. I hope so. There are so many stories in the North Country that haven't been told. Morgan Elliott, who was the director of photography and added so much to this project and to this film, he and I have been talking about collaborating again. So I hope that we do that.
Well, thank you so much, Claire, for sharing your talents with the North Country while celebrating its beauty.
Well, thank you so much. I'm really excited for this opportunity to share it with Mountain Lake PBS.
It's our pleasure to host it. The film Treehouse is a little more than 12 minutes long, and you may see it on Mountain Lake PBS during our upcoming show, Festival Films, Spotlight on New York Shorts. It airs Saturday, January 8th at 5:30 p.m. and Friday, January 28th at 1:30 p.m. on Mountain Lake PBS.
Spotlight is supported by the Glenn and Carol Pearsall Adirondack Foundation, dedicated to improving the quality of life for year-round residents of the Adirondack Park.